This narrative unfolds around what could be considered one of Australia's most intense rivalries. Over numerous years, two criminal families engaged in relentless conflict, trading hit for hit, sparked by an accusation of drug theft by one family against the other. Their confrontations, often occurring in broad daylight, resulted in severe injuries or fatalities. The animosity escalated to such a degree that even the family matriarchs became targets. Amidst this turmoil, both clans continued to illicitly distribute vast amounts of narcotics across Sydney's streets. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of this saga is that, amidst the chaos, the heads of these feuding families were confined together within the walls of a high-security penitentiary. How was this elaborate conflict orchestrated? This story centers on the clash between the Hamzi and Alameddine families. To fully grasp the present circumstances, it's crucial to understand the events leading up to them. Our story begins with the Hamzi family, also known as the Brother for Life Gang, spearheaded by Bassem Hamzi. Bassem, the offspring of Lebanese immigrants Khaled and Lola Hamzi, arrived in Australia during the 1970s amidst the Lebanese Civil War, seeking a brighter future. However, despite their aspirations, Bassem found himself embroiled in grave legal troubles. At the age of 19 in 1998, Bassem fatally shot 18-year-old Chris Toumazis following a dispute in a Sydney nightclub, an act that led to his sentencing to 21 years behind bars. Contrary to what one might expect from a young individual sentenced to 21 years in prison, Bassem Hamzi's story was far from over. In fact, this marked a new chapter in his life. Within the confines of Goulburn Supermax prison, Bassem founded the Brothers for Life Gang in 2007, following his conversion to radical Islam. His influence within the prison grew as he converted fellow inmates to his cause, amassing a significant following that alarmed the correctional staff. Recognizing the potential threat, the authorities transferred him to Lithgow Prison. There, armed with just a contraband phone that had been smuggled in, Bassem was able to orchestrate his gang's activities beyond the prison walls, demonstrating that his incarceration was merely a physical constraint, not a limit to his influence or ambition. Unknown to the correctional officers, Bassem Hamzi was orchestrating a vast criminal network from his cell until his activities came to light in 2008 with the discovery of his phone. The investigation into the device unveiled startling revelations. Bassem had made over 19,000 calls, averaging 460 calls a day between May 1st and June 11, 2008. These calls were not mere conversations. They were commands to his subordinates on the outside, directing them to smuggle drugs with a weekly value of up to $250,000, execute kidnappings, and perform drive-by shootings. Among these subordinates was his cousin, Mohammed Hamzi, who led the Bankstown chapter of Brothers for Life. Mohammed, often regarded as the gang's co-founder and holding the title of president, operated strictly under Bassem's directives, ensuring that no significant decisions were made without his cousin's approval. Despite being imprisoned, Bassem Hamzi maintained his role as the undisputed leader of Brothers for Life for a time. Yet as the gang expanded, Bassem's influence began to wane. Membership became almost trivially easy, requiring only the purchase of a $1.70 t-shirt, allowing virtually anyone to join. This led to an influx of members who lacked a personal connection or loyalty to Bassem, diminishing his control as the gang's ambitions and wealth grew unchecked. The establishment of a new faction in Blacktown further eroded Bassem's authority. This chapter, under the leadership of Basim Hijazi and his lieutenant Yehye Ahmoud, diverged significantly in its makeup, predominantly consisting of members with Afghan backgrounds, in contrast to the Lebanese-dominated Bankstown chapter. Despite being part of the same organization, tensions between the two factions escalated, culminating in a violent confrontation in October 2012. In a calculated ambush, Blacktown leaders Basim Hijazi and Yehye Ahmoud were shot while in their vehicle, resulting in Ahmoud's immediate death. Mohammed Hamzi, leader of the Bankstown chapter, was implicated in this attack. In the aftermath, Basim Hijazi fled to Lebanon, effectively disappearing from the gang's narrative. However, his departure did not quell the strife between the Bankstown and Blacktown chapters, signaling the beginning of an ongoing feud rather than its resolution. the cycle of violence between the factions persisted, with each side launching retaliatory strikes against the other. A significant incident unfolded on the night of October 29, 2013, in Revsby Heights. In the quiet hours just after midnight, Mohammed Hamzi, the leader of the Bankstown chapter, was in a garage with Mahmoud Hamzi and an individual known as Omar. Unknown to them, a white Nissan Tida discreetly parked down the street. From this vehicle, two assailants emerged and approached the garage with a chilling calmness. As they closed in, they unleashed a barrage of gunfire towards the group. A third accomplice, who had remained in the car, quickly facilitated their escape, driving them away from the scene of the crime. Police investigations suggested that the primary target of this assault was Mohammed Hamzi, likely in retaliation for the earlier attacks on Basim Hijazi and Yehye Ahmoud. However, the attack misfired, sparing Mohammed while tragically claiming the life of Mahmoud Hamzi at the scene and severely injuring Omar. Following the incident, authorities apprehended 3 individuals connected to the attack, including a woman named Amanda Crow, all of whom were linked to the Blacktown chapter of Brothers for Life. Despite the close call, Mohammed Hamzi emerged unscathed from the assault, only to be arrested shortly afterwards for his role in the earlier violence against Basim Hijazi and Yehye Ahmoud. NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing expressed deep concern over the ongoing cycle of retribution and its detrimental impact on the community. He called for public cooperation with the police investigation, emphasizing the importance of community tips in apprehending those responsible and curbing the escalating violence. However, achieving peace proved challenging. The cycle of violence persisted unabated, culminating in another tragic event on December 11, 2014. The violence struck close to home for the Hamzi family when Bassam's mother, Lola, became the latest victim of a shooting, illustrating the far-reaching and devastating consequences of the gang feud. In a chilling episode, Lola Hamzi became the target of a gunman who fired through her front door, striking her once in the abdomen. Miraculously, she survived the harrowing ordeal. This incident marked the second time a female member of the Hamzi family was attacked in such a manner. Previously, on March 9, 2013, Maha Hamze, Bilal Hamze's mother and Bassam's aunt, was shot 8 times in the leg behind the front door of her home, fortunately surviving the attack. The actual target in Maha's case was her son Bilal, who had been involved in an extortion attempt demanding $5,000 from someone's mother. When Maha answered the door instead of Bilal, she inadvertently became the victim. This story also sheds light on the nuanced dynamics within the Hamzi family, as evidenced by the variation in the spelling of their surname. Bilal, whose story will be elaborated on further, bears the surname Hamze, indicating the diverse branches of the family and their differing identities. By the close of 2014, after years marked by intermittent turmoil and devastation, the Brothers for Life gang appeared to be on the brink of dissolution. This turning point was precipitated by a meticulous police crackdown that led to the arrest of numerous gang members, decimating its ranks. Many pivotal figures in the gang either met their demise or found themselves incarcerated. NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing, reflecting on the operation's success, hoped it signified the definitive end of the gang's reign of terror. The sweeping arrests resulted in over 300 charges against 21 members, ensuring their imprisonment for extended periods. Bassam Hamzi, already confined, witnessed the disintegration of his empire from behind bars. Yet, despite a 2-year lull that suggested a possible end to the violence, the calm proved deceiving. The saga was far from over, with the ensuing period poised to usher in an era of even greater chaos. In addition to the Hamzi family, Sydney's criminal underworld was also home to the infamous Alameddine family, known for their notorious activities. Talal Alameddine, one of the family's leading figures, found himself behind bars, sharing a fate similar to Bassam Hamzi. Talal was sentenced to a 17-year prison term for his role in providing the firearm used in the 2015 terrorist attack on police accountant Curtis Chung at the NSW police headquarters in Parramatta, an event that sent shockwaves across Australia. The Alameddines, like the Hamzis, were implicated in a wide array of criminal enterprises, setting the stage for a fierce rivalry on Sydney's streets. The origins of their feud are shrouded in speculation. Some attribute it to a drug shipment the Alamedines allegedly hijacked from the Hamzis in 2013, while others suggest it stemmed from a battle over territorial control for drug distribution. Regardless of its roots, the conflict escalated into one of Australia's most tumultuous gang wars. The violence erupted in April 2016 with the killing of Safwan Charbaji, a relative of Alamedine associates, followed shortly by the death of Wali Ahmad, linked to the Hamzi family. These incidents marked the resurgence of hostilities, contradicting NSW Police Commissioner Mick Willing's earlier hope that the gang's threat had been neutralized with the 2014 arrests. Bassam Hamzi, from his incarceration, appeared to be orchestrating this resurgence. His influence made headlines again in October 2016 when prison authorities discovered a phone hidden within a book in the library of the Goulburn Supermax prison, indicating his continued command over his network. By this point, Bassam was deemed an extreme high-risk inmate, a classification influenced by his radical beliefs and the loyalty of his followers, underscoring his undiminished power and the ongoing saga of gang violence in Sydney. The discovery of Bassam Hamzi having a phone while incarcerated was a significant embarrassment for the prison authorities. This is absolutely unacceptable, and we will be conducting a thorough investigation into this incident with our top security operations team from the Security and Intelligence Unit, declared NSW Corrective Services Commissioner Peter Severin. Despite these assurances, the effectiveness of their measures was called into question when, less than 2 weeks later, the same extreme high-risk inmate was found with another phone during a surprise cell search. Anticipating an attempt to dispose of the evidence, the water supply to Bassam's cell had been preemptively cut off, thwarting his efforts to flush the phone away and leading to his capture. Further investigation confirmed Bassam's continued leadership over the Brothers 4 Life gang, underscoring the challenge of curbing his influence even from behind bars. Inside the walls of Goulburn Supermax prison, where both Bassam and Alamedine leader Talal were held, the rivalry between their families mirrored the tensions on Sydney's streets, inevitably spilling over into the prison environment. In October 2018, a confrontation between Bassam and Talal escalated into a physical altercation, captured on CCTV, allegedly over the power dynamics within the prison. The footage showed Talal overpowering Bassam, necessitating intervention by several guards to halt the brawl. This prison fight heightened concerns over potential reprisals outside the prison, although the immediate aftermath saw a period of relative calm. However, the tranquility was short-lived. By October 14, 2020, the feud reignited with Shaylin Zreika, an Alamedine associate, being assaulted by members of the Hamzi family. This act of violence quickly spiraled into a series of retaliatory attacks between the families, illustrating the rapid and relentless nature of their vendetta. Just as Ibrahim Hamzi's home came under fire, a counterattack targeted Rafat Alamedina's residence the following day, epitomizing the tit-for-tat warfare that characterized their ongoing conflict. The feud's intensity showed no signs of waning, with each side poised to strike back swiftly and decisively, maintaining a volatile cycle of retribution. Stationed in their car with a clear objective in mind, the assailants waited patiently for Majid Hamzi to emerge. As Majid stepped out and began his walk, 2 gunmen exited their vehicle, pursuing him aggressively. Closing in, they unleashed a barrage of bullets, striking Majid before hastily retreating to their car and speeding away from the scene. Despite Majid's valiant effort to escape, captured by CCTV as he ran wounded and glanced back, he collapsed after a short distance. Despite emergency services efforts, Majid, the younger brother of Bassam Hamzi, tragically died from his injuries. Bassam, when questioned about the loss, responded with stoic resignation, attributing it to divine will. However, the Bankstown Police Area Commander, Darren Sly, expressed grave concerns over the potential fallout from this act of violence. His fears were not unfounded. The assassination of Majid catalyzed an unprecedented escalation in the feud, marked by weekly outbreaks of violence, including shootings, property damage, and civilian casualties, signaling a descent into chaos. The violence reached a tragic nadir on January 30, 2021, when an innocent man named Mustafa was mistakenly killed, believed to be associated with the Hamzi family. The indiscriminate nature of the conflict was highlighted by a brawl at Ballina Byron Gateway Airport on February 6, 2021. The fight broke out when a Hamzi associate confronted two Alameddines at a luggage conveyor, drawing in bystanders and escalating rapidly, only quelled by the intervention of a solitary security guard. This incident amplified the feud further, underscoring the volatile unpredictability of the gang rivalry. The focus then shifted to Bilal Hamze, who, despite being aware of a substantial bounty on his head, chose to live conspicuously in Sydney's central business district, relying on the area's heavy surveillance, dense population, and police presence for protection. This decision, driven by defiance and a false sense of security, ultimately proved fatal. Bilal's calculated risk highlighted a dangerous underestimation of the lengths to which his adversaries would go, marking a poignant chapter in the saga of violence that continued to grip Sydney. On June 17, 2021, Bilal Hamzi's evening took a fatal turn as he left a restaurant and strolled past a stationary Audi, oblivious to the imminent danger. As he moved past the vehicle, a call from the passenger side abruptly diverted his attention, only for him to face a barrage of 4 bullets. Wounded and collapsing, Bilal was targeted once more by the Audi, which circled back to ensure he was fatally hit, marking a brutal end to his life in one of Sydney's bustling areas, underscoring his misplaced sense of security. The Hamzi family suffered another tragic loss on October 20, 2021, when Salim Hamze and his father Tufik were ambushed as they approached their truck. An assailant, emerging from a nearby vehicle, rushed towards them, firing as he approached. Despite a momentary slip, the gunman resumed his attack, striking both Salim, who was implicated in gang activities, and his father Tufik, an innocent bystander attempting to steer his son away from crime. The violence persisted, with the Alameddine family reportedly intensifying their campaign against the Hamzis, aiming to dismantle their rivals. Amidst this onslaught, the Hamzis retaliated, but the Alameddines seemed to gain the upper hand. A significant blow was delivered with the targeted killing of Ghassan Amoun, Bassam's brother, on January 6, 2022. Ghassan was ambushed and fatally shot by assailants in a gray Mini Cooper, which was later found burned, a grim testament to the feud's deadly stakes. The conflict between the Hamzi and Alameddine families has claimed over 10 lives, with countless others affected by the violence, leading to numerous incarcerations and extended sentences. Bassam Hamzi, the figure at the heart of this turmoil, continues to serve an extended sentence in Goulburn Supermax prison, his activities behind bars only adding to his time. The involvement of his lawyer, Martin Churchill, in his criminal enterprises further illustrates the extensive network Bassam managed to operate even while incarcerated. As the dust settles, the Alameddine family appears to have emerged dominant in this bloody feud, though the victory comes at a steep, tragic cost. Reflecting on the extensive loss of life and the cycle of retribution, one must ponder the true price of such a victory. For those captivated by this saga, your engagement through likes, comments, and subscriptions is invaluable as we continue to unravel the complexities of such conflicts.